It's time to end the progressive boycott of rural America. Rural makes up 80% of the nation's landmass and just over 1/5 of the country's population. In the imagination of many Americans, it is white. However, this is a myth.
The immigrant community has grown greatly in the last 40 years. I think it's one of the fastest growing immigrant communities in the country is in the state of North Carolina. So a lot of things have changed. Underneath it all, a lot of the problems that have existed in community, low level of labor organization, low levels of community involvement are persistent kinds of problems.
When we juxtapose a map of rural counties with voting results, we see what we would expect. Rural counties vote Republican. And this is because we've completely ceded this to the right. It is clear that the right's agenda is creating a crisis in rural America.
For far too long, the progressive movement has said, oh, that's right, oh, they're red, we're not even going to go there. And what's happened is someone else has gone there for us. We've seen the Tea Party go there and organize members and give them an outlet to vent.
When I was growing up, there was a strong element within the United Methodist Church and really within mainstream Protestantism, I believe, that supported social justice and economic justice and racial justice. And in recent years, we've seen the right wing really use religion as a way to do political organizing. Faith perspective that used to be some fertile ground for helping people see that providing assistance for something such as paying the cost of child care would be a compassionate social justice position, is now instead seen as a burden on taxpayers or something.
They are fighting to close or privatize critical infrastructure serving rural communities, such as schools and post offices.
The reason why we really feel like there is an attack on the rural post offices is they're really testing the waters right now. This is a move, one step toward privatizing community infrastructure for corporate profit. And one way you can test the waters, and we've seen it historically time and time again, is you test it on the rural communities where you're not sure if they're really going to fight back or not. In most cases, they don't. They're isolated, so they don't fight back.
What we've noticed when we do rural organizing is that if you start talking to these people, that more often they're on your side. They've just been told that they're not.
Additionally, this agenda allows large corporations to extract wealth from a community before moving on.
The challenges that people face in a lot of communities have to do with the difficulty of having opportunities to be productive. Most people want to be productive and are capable of being quite productive, but when land tenure has moved into a situation that where small farmers are being squeezed out and often essentially forced to sell the land because of the conditions in the agricultural economy. The industry that has moved into the South. A lot of it has moved out of the South because the same people who moved their capital there looking for low wages and low taxes have found other places in the world where they can get even higher returns on their capital. So you have businesses moving in and then shortly afterward moving out. And there's quite frankly a lot of extraction of capital resources from communities that need to be there and remain a basis for people to meet human needs and improve the quality of life.
For us to move policy goals, the rural voice has played an important role in shaping or changing the conversation and providing an opening for progressive change.
We decided to use our congressman as a poster boy for all that is wrong politically in our country. And so we had his name was Greg Walden, and so we had a Where's Walden kind of theme, and because he doesn't show up in our communities. He shows up maybe at the Chamber of Commerce meeting or the county fair and that kind of thing, but he won't actually sit down with people and answer questions. We had a full day, occupied his offices. He has 3 offices throughout the district, and we went into those offices and sat there all day, and people were arrested, and it got a lot of coverage. and we definitely got his attention. So he's trying to fight that image that we put out there.
We need an organized voice of constituents standing up for these policies and sharing how they will have a positive impact on their community.
Where people were coming together for the first time to really bridge the community regardless of politics, regardless of affiliation with how they feel about logging or how they feel about pesticides. They were all there together agreeing on something for the first time, which is really exciting. Deadwood, for example, we were first contacted by this retired teacher who had taught every student in Deadwood, most of which have stayed. So he knocked on every door in Deadwood. Every single door he knocked on to get them out. And 164 of the 180 residents in Deadwood came out, which is remarkable. And they all were just in this parking lot meeting each other for the first time, which is, a lot of people don't really understand, yet these small towns are pretty isolated. These folks are isolated from each other, so this is the first time they've ever been in one place really agreeing. It's really exciting to see.
Can we continue to ignore 20% of the population?